Hello students, welcome to your school YouTube channel. Today's topic is, why does water make a shirt darker? So without wasting time, let's quickly start the video and learn. Have you ever spilled water on your shirt and noticed that the wet spot looks much darker than the rest of the fabric? This change in color can be quite dramatic, especially on light-colored clothes. But what's actually happening here? Why does water, which is clear, make your shirt appear darker when it soaks in? The key to understanding this lies in how light interacts with fabric both when it's dry and when it's wet. How we see fabric colors. First, let's understand how we perceive the color of a shirt in normal conditions. When light hits your dry shirt, some of it is absorbed by the fabric and some of it is reflected back to your eyes. The specific wavelengths or colors of light that are reflected determine the color you see. For example, a red shirt reflects more red wavelengths and absorbs others. Dry fabric has lots of tiny air pockets between the fibers. These air gaps scatter the light in many directions, helping more of it bounce back out, enhancing the shirt's brightness and making the color appear lighter or more vibrant. What happens when water soaks in? When water is spilled on the shirt, it fills those air pockets between the fabric fibers. Water has a different optical property than air. It has a higher refractive index, meaning it bends and transmits light differently. When light enters wet fabric, instead of scattering and bouncing out, more of it is directed into the fabric or absorbed by the material. Less light is reflected back to your eyes, which makes the wet area appear darker. So even though the water itself is clear, it changes the way light interacts with the fabric. It reduces surface scattering and increases absorption, both of which contribute to the darker appearance. Absorption plays a role too. Wet fabric tends to absorb light more efficiently than dry fabric. This happens because the water acts as a kind of bridge that helps more light enter deeper into the fibers, where it's less likely to escape. Once the light goes deep into the fabric, it's more likely to be absorbed and not reflected. The result, a visible darkening of the wet area. Optical illusion? Not really. This darkening isn't an optical illusion, it's a physical effect caused by the interaction between light, fabric, and water. However, it can vary depending on the type of fabric and the amount of water. Thicker or more absorbent materials, like cotton, show the effect more clearly than synthetic, water-resistant materials like polyester, drying the shirt, reversing the effect. Once the water evaporates and the fabric dries, air returns to the gaps between the fibers. Light starts scattering again, and the shirt returns to its original color. This process shows how the presence or absence of water temporarily alters the optical properties of the material. Conclusion: water makes a shirt look darker not because it adds color, but because it changes how light behaves when it hits the fabric. It fills the gaps in the fibers, reduces light scattering, and increases light absorption, all of which led to less light being reflected to your eyes. So next time you see a water stain on your shirt, you're actually witnessing some fascinating physics in action, a simple yet elegant interplay between water, fabric, and light. Hello students, let's get to know me. The type of videos I make here are very important for your school, college, and higher studies. I do a lot of research and find answers to your questions. But for physical problems, I make voiceovers through AI. I upload 3 videos here every day. If you have any problem, please comment and let me know what your problem is and I will try to answer it as soon as possible. Thank you on behalf of your school YouTube channel.